There's some breaking news here. Trump is apparently going to pardon a co-founder of Death Row Records. So let me go ahead. I'm going to do the share screen on this one. I actually have the mic plugged in so that, because this one's a little more serious. This isn't just me saying my bullshit thoughts. So New York Post, there are plenty of other articles as well. Commute sentence of Snoop Dogg pal, Death Row co-founder, Michael Harry-O Harris. And the thing is that this dude was he was a cocaine dealer. I mean, well, let's just say drug dealer. And Wikipedia used to have his link. As we can see, used to have a link for his, but apparently they deleted it. I don't know why, because basically they said that he reformed himself, that he had, dealt drugs and everything else like that in the LA area. But now, Wikipedia got rid of it. It's just one of those things, isn't it? But, basically, it sounds like this Michael Harris dude was kind of like an Eazy-E in a way. Eazy-E helped to fund Ruthless Records through dealing drugs and everything else like that, and that's how they started. And then you had Jerry Heller, and the rest is history. Death Row Records was a little more complicated because you had Dr. Dre wanting to break off from Ruthless Records because of how Jerry Heller was screwing people over. And there were other issues as well, but, there's a lot of issues about money and everything else. By this point, everyone's like, this is some bullshit. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of briefly look through this. But yeah, basically, so Dre and Suge Knight, of course, was a former bodyguard for Ruthless Records. He was a football player, this and that. As we know, Suge Knight is in jail for the rest of his life because he ran somebody over on the production of the NWA movie. But that's a whole other thing. So, we have these issues that went on. Suge Knight, allegedly, went to Eazy-E with baseball bats and said, get these folks out of the contract. The thing is, though, is that Eazy-E, as he said at the time, because Dre Day only make Eazy's payday, and it's true. And that Eazy-E was still making money from Dr. Dre. So it was ridiculous. But anyway, so Dr. Dre and Suge Knight, DOC and Dick Griffey. So Dick Griffey, where he comes in at, is he had this solar studio, basically. And since he owned that studio space, which became Death Row Records, that's the whole thing. He had the capital, I guess, if you will, the actual, or kind of like the land, I should say. Yeah, he had the land and he had the ability to have a recording studio. So because of that, that's where he came in at, So as we see here, one-time NWA associate and rapper DOC, look at that. He still had trouble. Like I said, he was getting screwed over because DOC got in his accident, and basically all he was doing was writing raps by that point. He got in that accident in 1990, I want to say. And so his career was kind of kaput. But yeah, that's a whole different, once again, I'm going off topic. But this Michael Harris, Harry-O guy, was a drug dealer. People don't want to talk about that, but based on looking through it, however, he sold the naming right. Okay. Okay. Knight approached Michael Harry-O Harris, a businessman imprisoned on drug and attempted murder charges. See, notice that they had a whole page on this dude. And it's like, now it's gone off Wikipedia. I know I didn't make it up. I mean, I'm pretty schizo, but it's like, holy shit. So so this guy is getting out early, basically. To make the long story short, that's what happened. That this Michael Harry-O Harris, who apparently Snoop Dogg is still friends with. I don't know how that is. Because it's like Snoop left Death Row in 1996? After he recorded Dogfather, 1996? So 96, 97, he left Death Row, went to No Limit, and did like Top Dog, and or The Game Is to Be Sold, Not to Be Told, that type of thing, and had hits like Still a G Thing and this and that. So it's like, how is he still friends with this Harry O. Harris? And it turns out that really this Harry O. dude has made himself into an activist, much the same way as Tukey Williams did. Tukey Williams was the co-founder as well of the Crips gang. Tukey Williams was still executed, and of course Snoop Dogg was big in trying to get him out. But yeah, so commuted the prison sentence of Death Row Records co-founder Michael Harry O. Harris for attempted murder and cocaine trafficking. Okay. Got word he'd been granted clemency at Lompoc Federal Correctional Institution in California. Weldon Angelos, who also received a pardon. Isn't that fun? Isn't that nice? Said Harris sent him an email saying, "Thank God, God is great. It feels like the weight of the world was lifted off my shoulders." The move came shortly after it was revealed that rapper Snoop Dogg had secretly been lobbying the White House on behalf of Harris, even though Snoop Dogg, of course, was in the whole fuck Trump type of camp as well. But it's like, whatever. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. I'm not even going to read this one. But it's ridiculous to think about, isn't it? So Snoop's efforts came, even though he's been an outspoken critic of Trump. He even made a video in which he pretended to shoot a clown dressed as the president. Credited the first daughter. So basically, yeah, you have to thank Ivanka for Harris's impending release more than 7 years before it was scheduled to take place. This dude was already going to be released. He was already, did the good behavior, and he had already, gotten his appeal or whatever the hell it is. The credit on this one goes to Ivanka because Ivanka Trump was not going to take no for an answer. Angelo cited the efforts of Alice Johnson, the first-time drug offender Trump freed from a life sentence, and later pardoned following lobbying by Kim Kardashian. Oh my goodness. See, once again, the line between entertainment and politics is invisible at this point. It is invisible. We see that there's no difference, is there? He said Ivanka did this for Alice Johnson and is a huge win for hip-hop. Are you kidding me? How is it a huge win for hip-hop? Wow, you got a guy who co-founded a record label that was known for screwing people over, that was known for beating people up, that Tupac died for, I mean, you could argue about that, but it's like, bro, are you kidding me? So anyway, let's continue on here. So, credit on this one goes to Ivanka. As said Ivanka did this for Alice Johnson. It's a huge win for hip-hop. Trump is expected to officially announce a batch of last-minute pardons before Wednesday's noon inauguration of President-elect Joe Biden. So there we go. An interesting point. I was going to say this is the last point, though. Interesting thing about Death Row Records now is apparently it's owned by Hasbro, at least as of last year. So let's see here. Let's look at the dealings. This is one of the wacky things about capitalism. This goes to show that with enough money and wealth, you can buy anything, and there is no nothing is sacred in capitalism. And it's true, there's nothing sacred. And this is not to say that Death Row Records is some amazing thing, but the thing is, though, that there's still a lot of potential there. Obviously, Death Row Records was still trying to, make money off of old Snoop Dogg records. They released, I think, back in 2004, I want to say, or 2003. They were releasing old Snoop Dogg stuff just to get some money, They were also doing it, I think, because they heard that the Chronic 3 was coming out. And a lot of that material, of course, has gone into other stuff. But yeah. It's now fully owned by Hasbro. Wow. Hasbro forked out a whopping $3.8 billion to buy Canadian studio Entertainment One, lucrative Peppa Pig. Entertainment One also has a valuable music division that includes the ownership of Death Row Records catalog. Oh, so they own the catalog. Okay, because the Death Row, I was like, because Death Row was with Interscope. As far, like I say, I wish I knew better about the music business, but still. Was founded in 1991 by Suge Knight, Dr. Dre, Michael Harry O. Harris, and also, of course, as we talked about a little bit before, apparently, this Dick Griffey, who owned some of the studios, so that's where they started out. And of course, Dick Griffey had his troubles, and he ended up getting rubbed out. Not literally, but yeah. Dog Pound, MC Hammer, as well as Dr. Dre himself. Hasbro's chairman and CEO, Brian Goldner. We are excited about what we can do together and see this tremendous opportunity for shareholder value creation through this acquisition. Wow. That's a lot of gobbledygook for saying, we're going to make you more money through getting this product. That's all you need to say. But of course, like I say, I'm going to have to learn that valuable lesson too if I'm going to go into marketing or whatever it is. So, Our businesses are highly complementary with substantial synergies. With substantial synergies and a great cultural fit. Corporate culture. Oh boy, huh? The addition of E1 accelerates our blueprint strategy by expanding our brand portfolio. With E1's beloved global preschool brands, adding proven TV and film expertise and creating additional opportunities for long-term profitable growth. Gotta love it. Entertainment One music. This is why a lot of artists talk about get your masters, because it's like, if you don't get your masters, these folks can sell this material until the end of time and squeeze every last little bit of energy that you have. And any unreleased material, it doesn't matter if it's good or not. They're just like putting on the album or putting on eBay, or not eBay, but yeah, putting on iTunes and say it's lost material or something like that. And that's what they do. This is, like I say, back when they had like mixtape of lost material, and it's like, this is how people make their money. They will squeeze you until the last dollar. Look at that. Formerly Koch Records. Okay, E1. Okay, so yeah, Koch Records was a big indie. Well, not indie, but yeah, it was a fairly big label. Has released albums from artists ranging from Jim Jones, of Dipset, and all those folks. Public Enemy to Opeth and Hatebreed. Okay, it sounds like some hard rock that I don't know anything about. I'm too much of a wigger, I guess. I'll just say it the one time. Don't worry. The label just released the game's latest album, Born to Rap. Entertainment One also owns Artemis Records and Americana/indie label Dual Tone Records. There you go. Death Row Records co-founder, 28 years, following a hit-and-run incident. Oh, I said he was doing life. 28 years, but yeah. Meanwhile, Death Row Records co-founder Michael Harry Harris. Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah. Before being transferred to Lompoc, California, but is expected to be released in mid-August before being transferred to a halfway house in San Antonio, Texas, according to reports. And of course, everyone's going to throw him a party and everything else. So yeah, there we go. That was a long bit of explanation there, but yeah, I think it's worth saying because this explains so much, doesn't it? It explains to you that capitalism, and it's always worked this way, folks. You cannot say, even me, who is somewhat idealistic or whatever about the past. Well, it didn't happen. Yes, it did. It did happen in the past. When you have Art Carney, famous for being the guy, the straight man, I guess, to Ralph on The Honeymooners, and now even in the 1970s doing the Star Wars Holiday Special. It goes to show that these folks, they will squeeze whatever energy that you have, whatever nostalgia that people have. They will take advantage of it. The same thing, even what they're doing now with Justin Timberlake, a guy who, to me at least, he's still making his money, but he has definitely lost that edge. There are other younger, much more, on the cusp or on the pulse of the music scene than people like Justin Timberlake. And yet, Justin Timberlake is going to be at the Biden inauguration. Same thing with Lady Gaga. Somebody who has lost a bit of luster, but they have enough luster left. And it's important to realize, is that they will take your labor value as much as you can, especially if you're an artist. The same thing with paintings too. They'll fake paintings and say, yeah, forge paintings and say, yeah, so-and-so drew that, or so-and-so did that. Mm-hmm. They'll say, oh yeah, this painting comes from Van Gogh. This is a secret collection of his. In reality, it may not be, but this is what capitalism does. This is what it creates. It creates these false values of things. Yeah, I was going to do a video briefly. Don't worry, I'm going to end it pretty soon. I'm just ranting. But capitalism is a series of bubbles. And it's just a matter of time before one bubble pops and then somebody else is putting their finger, putting the dabber in there so that they can blow another bubble to protect the next bubble. Real estate bubble, financial bubble, the .com bubble, all these things, they have a bubble. Even with YouTube, here we are. It's a bubble. Twitter, it's a bubble. These are not profitable things overall, People are still trying to make YouTube profitable. And it's just like, pretty soon, I think YouTube, people like me and plenty of other folks that, have been on the platform longer are going to be rubbed out. And it's just going to become it's just going to become a mainstream media place, and then everybody's going to be on BitChute probably or Odyssey. Who knows, or whichever. There are plenty of other places, Daily Motion, or I don't know. These are the ones I'm thinking off the top of my head. There are plenty of others, I'm sure. But anyway, this is the reality that we live in, And it's not pretty. See you later. And